On Friday night, Invicta FC traveled to Kansas City, hosting a stacked card shown live on UFC Fight Pass. The event was headlined by a women's flyweight title bout between defending champion Jennifer Maia and Polish judoka Agnieszka Niedzwiedz, which proved to be a highly exciting contest that ended in a razor-close decision win for Maia, solidifying her status as one of the best female flyweights in the world today. In the co-main event, unbeaten grappling ace Mackenzie Dern faced a step-up in competition when she faced established Invicta fighter comain. The showdown represented her debut in the all-female promotion, who recently recruited the American following her fourth career win in October, coming in with a large wave of excitement behind her due to the massive potential she has in the sport. Dern, who is only 24 years of age, was eager to put her ever-evolving MMA skills on display on the biggest stage of her career thus far. In particular, the youngster sought to utilize her striking, which is steadily progressing as she garners more experience inside the cage. The fight, although her footwork was unbalanced at times, Dern showed that she is more than just a grappler, landing a series of strong right hands throughout the fight. Her boxing skills were on par with those of her opponent, and the American began to form a lead on the scorecards through stand-up exchanges alone, which came as a surprise to many. She ate a few punches of her own, but largely escaped damage from the seasoned Medeiros, who avoided entering into the submission expert's realm at all costs. However, Medeiros found herself beneath Mackenzie towards the end of the second round. Following a scramble that caused both fighters to end up on the mat, Dern targeted her opponent's leg, eventually giving up on her submission attempt to assume top position. Medeiros barely survived the 24-year-old's heavy onslaught of strikes from the top, and the back mount that brought the fight to the 10-minute mark could have been her end in the bout, but the veteran pulled through. She was not so lucky in the third round. After facing similar pressure from Dern, who was dominant on the ground, Medeiros was forced to tap out to an inescapable armbar with just 15 seconds remaining in the contest. Dern set the submission up as someone of her caliber is expected to do, and took home her fifth consecutive victory since commencing her career in mixed martial arts last July. Her opponent's difficult and desperate attempts to survive the armbar may have worked on many women, but the finish proved why Mackenzie carries such hype behind her. She has a ground game that very few can survive, which is precisely the reason why the UFC already have the young contender on their radar. Sky is the limit. While Mackenzie Dern does need to sharpen certain aspects of her game before making the leap to the UFC, it is hard to deny that she has the talent to wind up in the sport's premier promotion. Dern's world championship-winning jiu-jitsu skills will serve as a major problem to any woman she faces, and if she can make her wrestling an equally threatening asset, the rising star could well be one of the top talents in the UFC's strawweight and flyweight divisions going forward. At such a young age, and with a grappling game that few possess, Dern has a lot of time to hone her skills in Invicta. I hope to see her develop on said level of competition for at least another year before she attacks the elite combatants that are clawing for the women's titles in the UFC. Her striking, and many other minor elements, need to progress during this developmental period, but she appears to be making the necessary steps to improve, which includes her stepping away from jiu-jitsu competitions to focus on MMA. If Dern stays true to the elite grappling that has added 3 submission victories to her record so far, I believe she has limitless potential. She could well become the Demian Maia of women's MMA in the future, and if she continues to grow, Mackenzie could go even further than the Brazilian legend has done in his time in the sport. However, there are many other world-class competitors in Invicta at the moment, so she will need to treat this just as seriously as she would the UFC, and avoid any hiccups that could keep her from joining the latter's ranks in the very near future. The horizon looks bright for Mackenzie Dern, and I am excited to be following her journey, which looks to be continuing under the Invicta FC banner for the time being. Want to share your opinion? Why not write for us? Previous post, next post, next.